Ah, I didn't see you there. Greetings, I am Dr. Darren Strange, but I seem to have lost my friends in the 3D multiverse. It's absolute madness, I tell you. I'm going to try one last spell. Here goes nothing. By the writings of the Darren Hold, and the claw of Osha, and the orb of the Damocles, bring forth my friends to me!
What?
Jerry, where's Rob? Oh my gosh, Gigi! Oh shoot, I screwed up the spell.
Oh.
Here we go again.
What the?
That's
What
better.
the? What the hell is this, and why is it in my hand?
I had to cast a transference spell to get you guys out of the 3D multiverse.
Wow.
Welcome to my sanctum decorum.
Holy shoot! Holy cow! You're very dramatic there. And who might you be? Are you Mr. Darren Strange?
I'm Dr. Darren Strange.
Oh yeah, he was in my WandaVision reviews.
Greetings again.
Yeah, this is nice and comfortable. I feel like I'm keeping something warm.
You are on my cape.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both of you.
No, sorry. Hello everybody and welcome to R&B Reviews. I am your host Rob and today we are joined by two guests. As you know, this is Darren Strange.
Hello.
And then right down there is Mr. Jerry.
Hello.
Yep, and as you can see we are wearing 3D glasses because we went to see the new Spider-Man movie.
In 3D!
Yes! Yes. And so anyway, this is the third Tom Holland movie. And we did talk about this beforehand, how far we wanted to go with spoilers and everything, and we decided whether or not to do a spoiler or spoiler-free version like we do sometimes, but we decided we're just going to go ahead and just whatever comes to mind, just talk about it. So we are probably going to talk about some spoilers. If you have not seen the new Spider-Man movie, Never Return Home?
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. See, I get these home movies titled. Okay. Spider-Man No Way Home. Then you probably don't want to watch this review. However, surprisingly enough, I know some viewers that actually watch these reviews no matter what. I know, and I get a few that say, "Yeah, I haven't seen this movie." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Then whatever. Yeah. So anyway, Marvel and Sony has brought an early Christmas presents to fans of the Spider-Man character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this movie picks up from where Spider-Man Far From Home left off, which is the second Tom Holland movie. So now with Spider-Man's identity revealed, Peter Parker asks Doctor Strange for help, but when a spell goes wrong, dangerous foes from other worlds start to appear, forcing Peter to discover what it truly means to be a superhero, to be Spider-Man. And the movie also talks about how videos from phones can destroy people on the internet with no privacy. All right, well anyway, why don't we talk, before we start the review, let's talk about what we were thinking before walking into the theater. My expectations, I mean, I didn't really hear too much hype until like when it got closer to the opening of the movie. I mean, I saw the trailers. At first I wasn't sure, because you know, sometimes with some of these Marvel movies, like if a character comes back, they're not exactly the same character. Like take Dr. Octopus that appeared in the trailer. I thought, okay, maybe he's not exactly the Dr. Octopus from the Tobey Maguire movies. Maybe it's the Dr. Octopus, but it's just the same actor, but it's not the same one from those movies. I thought, okay, because in the trailer he's like, "Hello, Peter."
Yep.
And then I began to hear rumors that there would be more villains. I also heard rumors that there might be more Spider-Men. And then I walked into the movie and I watched the movie, and I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised. I think it was beyond my expectations. You know, what about you guys?
Yeah, definitely beyond my expectations. The trailer had so much hype. We saw the villains, and there was rumor that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were going to be in it, and just all these other characters. It exceeded my expectations how everything drew forth, but there was also some drawbacks too that I wanted that I didn't get out of this. And if I go into those, it's going to be Spoilerville, and we're going to do that later in this video.
Yeah, throughout the video, yeah.
So, but overall, Tom Holland, I think he is the best Spider-Man since Tobey and Andrew Garfield. I mean, he's Peter Parker to a T, and you know, he just really drove the movie forth. There was not a dull moment in this movie, which I was really shocked. Like, there is like no time to like really even like snooze in this movie. I mean,
Yeah. It was much.
Yeah.
Now it has the same amount of time as Eternals, and this one. And I know we talked about this with House of Gucci too. You and I. This pacing, it moved, and like you said, it kept involved. I mean, what about you, Jerry?
You know, I really enjoyed it going in with my expectations. I did have high expectations, but from what I've seen online and everything, they were like making a big joke out of it with how much people expected.
Yeah.
They were saying, you know, there was going to be like Deadpool, Godzilla. Like,
Yeah.
they wanted like everything and everyone in this movie.
Yeah.
So with that, you know, I held back my expectations a little bit. But overall, I would say it definitely met my expectations and went beyond. I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. Like you guys said, the pacing went really well. There wasn't really any times where, you know, it was just like a snooze fest or anything. It was either action going on. There was a decent amount of comedy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
with tons of comic relief.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That's one thing I liked about it too. Now, you touched on the acting. Now, I thought this was both Tom Holland and Zendaya's most mature performance as their characters, because
Definitely.
I felt like with Tom Holland, usually he's this nervous, oh, sir, blah, 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 type of person, but here I think he brought out more emotion than the other. Now, this movie I thought was a lot better than the last one. I'm not sure if it, you know, it's with the first Tom Holland movie. And with MJ, which is played by Zendaya, I didn't like her in the first movie. I thought the sarcasm and the snarkiness for me just felt like it was there just to be there, and I like that now. She's got more emotion, she's got better character development, and I care about her a little bit more. And with you mentioning the jokes, the reason why I think this is a very good movie for Spider-Man fans who love the character or love the movies is because not only is this a Marvel movie, I saw it as a sort of self-parody. Now, just to let you guys know, if people might think parody or you make fun of something you hate, no. A parody is when you affectionately pay tribute or make fun of something that you love. Like, for example, Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks. He's like, you know what? I love these Frankenstein movies, but let's have some fun with it. So you got all kinds of, like you said, jokes and references to other Marvel movies, other Spider-Man movies. Like, for example, two examples that come to mind is the scene where, again, there's some, this is Spoilerville, there's a scene where Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland are in a lab with Ned, which is Tom Holland's friend. He asked if he had a friend, and when Tobey Maguire gave his very serious deadpan answer, Ned's like, ah! And then there's, of course, the scene where they're getting ready to fight the villains for the climactic battle, which is a really good climactic battle, I think. And, you know, they're throwing jokes at each other. But there's an equivalent earlier on where Tom Holland's going through this dramatic moment, and the two Spider-Men come along with Ned and MJ, and they try to explain to him, yeah, we had something similar happen to us. We know how you feel. And so I thought that counterbalanced really well.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, the pacing is really what kind of like just kind of web sling this movie, so to speak.
During it, yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man, he's a pretty active character, so I mean, the movie had to be pretty active too. I mean, all the Spider-Mans all had that kind of flow to them. So this doesn't even differ from that path. But Zendaya as Mary Jane, I got a bone to pick with that, because I am a classic kind of guy, and I just love just the redhead Mary Jane. Kirsten Dunst will always be my favorite Mary Jane, my favorite MJ. I do love Zendaya as an actress. I really do. I just don't love her as Mary Jane.
Yeah, she's grown on me, like I said. What about you, Jerry?
Definitely, she's grown on me as well. I feel the biggest issue I had before was she was kind of just like the girl he can never get and everything, kind of like idolize. But once they actually started dating and everything, they became more serious. You got to see sides of her that you didn't see before.
Right.
She was much more like compassionate, more caring.
Yeah.
You got to see a lot more character development. And that also went really well with Tom Holland and his character. So they had fantastic chemistry together. They're actually dating in real life now.
Yeah.
So I
That
believe,
helps.
all that together,
Yeah.
formulated into a fantastic on-screen and apparently off-screen relationship.
Yeah.
So with that, I get what you're saying, Darren, with the classic Mary Jane Watson
Oh.
and everything with the redhead. I know,
She's
especially
awesome.
yeah.
And,
Oh
like
yeah.
in the comics, you know.
Yeah.
I
And-
mean, Zendaya, her look and everything, it doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry.
She is still younger, though. I think she's younger than even Kirsten Dunst was.
Yeah.
So she may, grow into it a little bit more
Yeah.
later down the road. Because it's speculated that there's going to be 3 more Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. I don't know. if
Yeah,
they're
I heard
gonna bring
he said that he's done with the character. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, maybe he's just tired of it. Maybe when he's a little older, he'll come back. But he said, I want to move on and do some other things. But
Yeah.
maybe he could come back. Now what now we talked a little bit about this before the video. The villains. Now I knew Doc Octopus was going to be in it because of the trailer, and I think I saw the Green Goblin. I was really excited to see Electro, even though here's the thing. I liked Jamie Foxx here than in the second Amazing Spider-Man when he first appeared.
Yes.
I forgot about, here's the weird thing. I forgot about the Lizard being the main villain in the first Amazing Spider-Man, which was the Andrew Garfield movie. I'm like, was the Lizard in a Spider-Man movie? This is weird. I liked the first Amazing Spider-Man, but I didn't like the second one. But for some reason, the second one I still remember better.
Interesting.
And then we got the Sandman. And this is what was great about what I liked the villains was it wasn't crowded to me. I felt
No.
like everybody
Yeah, I
got a
was
chance
surprised.
to sign, and I really liked the scenes, where William Dafoe and Dr. Octopus and Sandman are all and Electro. They're all talking about how they became villains. They for example, for those of you that had never seen the second Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, he was this nice nerdy guy and nobody took him seriously. Then suddenly he became Electro, and I liked William Dafoe's performance the best for me because there's this scene where he ends up in Tom Holland's universe and he feels out of place. So he has this wonderful speech where he's talking to Aunt May, played by Marissa Tomei, and he feels lost. He doesn't know where he is, and I really like that here. Now it's been a while since I've seen the other Spider-Man movie, but I felt like they were more human here.
Yeah.
And something that I loved about the theme of this movie, in addition to the the superheroes and all the villains we got, one of the themes was second chances. Like there's that moment where Peter wants to help them, and Doctor Strange is like, no, we got to send them back. It's their fate. And I think it was a very good movie because when I first saw that scene, I'm like, yeah, they got to go back there because maybe with their fates, if with what happens to them, they got to otherwise they're going to create problems in the multiverse and everything. But then as I watched the movie, and I'm like, these aren't really bad people after all, and Peter wants to help them. And it was interesting because I'm sure there were some people who were like, yeah, these are bad people. They need to die. Yeah. And then you watch and you're like, no, wait, there's more to them. They're not the horrible people and everything. And I love the theme of second chances and, Tom Holland's, Aunt May's telling him, you can't say that it's not your problem. You have to help people out. And I also loved with another theme of this movie is the court of opinion. Like with what happened at the end of the second Spider-Man that carries on into the beginning of this movie, I think that's very relevant now with the whole, even whether you go to court or not, whether, the footage might make you look one way if it looks another way. And of course, MJ and Ned are suffering because they're associated with Peter. Yeah. So that's very relevant and very interesting.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and I mean the trailer, we really didn't spoil anything for you guys just now because we got that in the trailer. One of the things that some drawbacks from the trailer, they had the original Spider-Man song, going on. And we did not get that.
I was disappointed too.
In this movie. I mean when the trailer came out,
The Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, they should have put it in there somewhere.
But I mean, it was just like instrumental, and it was just so powerful, and it was not even listed in the soundtrack,
That is
for the
interesting,
movie.
yeah.
So I mean, and then also like I was watching like on like TikTok and everything, and there was like this whole thing with Betty Brant and Ned Leeds and all that, and that wasn't kind of like in the movie either.
Yeah.
So again, Marvel really played a trick on all of us just to hype everything up. And I just wanted just a little bit more than what we got. But the main part of this movie that I absolutely love was Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I mean,
we haven't even touched on that yet.
I mean, and
It kind of sets up the multiverse
yeah,
coming up.
exactly.
Did you guys think there was enough villains or there was too much?
I wanted more. I wanted more. Yeah, but I did like Jamie Foxx design this time.
Yeah.
Because like when I don't know if you noticed when he charged up, he actually had like the original, well, not the lightning mask,
Yeah.
but yeah, like the energy formed the mask, which was really cool. It didn't happen as much as I would like it to, like when he charged up. But Flint Marko, Thomas Hayden Church, he plays the Sandman. I mean, awesome CGI there. I love Willem Dafoe. I really do like that they went just with his original character, but I think it would have been so much better, like, for him to like transform into like the Goblin, like with that,
Like all green skin and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. I mean, I'm missing that. I really loved that they kind of got away from the robotic part of it. That really bothered me in Spider-Man, was because you could see his mouth like move right through that mask, and we didn't get it this time. So I'm loving that they improved so much on it. I also love that Jamie Foxx wasn't blue.
Yeah.
And they made him a little bit cooler because he is a really cool character, Electro, and I mean Jamie Foxx performance, I mean it carries through so well for comedic relief. I mean that is classic Jamie Foxx right there that we got. I mean everybody that that was in Far From Home returns into No Way Home, and it was just really nice to see everybody return.
Definitely.
And more, So, but I absolutely love Doctor Strange. I just love the whole multiverse thing that's coming to pass pretty soon, and I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Yeah.
a little
Well,
bit.
Jerry, do you have anything to add on the villains?
I do. I do agree it would have been cool later down the road to add more villains, but for the overall movie, I thought the 5 was pretty good. With that, they brought the main villain from all the previous 5 Spider-Man movies. Like they had one from each one, and like you guys were saying, they had pretty much an equal amount of screen time.
And
you got to
during
see
the
a
fight
little.
scenes, yeah.
Definitely,
Because again, it's like I
Yeah,
thought the
fight
fight
scenes
scenes were
were
going to be
awesome.
repetitive, but no. What happens is each Spider-Man fights his own villain, so it's not
It
repetitive.
was interesting, yes.
Yeah.
So with that, I really appreciated. Now, when they were actually having the big fight at the Statue of Liberty, when the universe started to crack and you could actually see silhouettes of the other villains, like Darren saying, that would have been cool if for like a second or two you see them actually start to come out in their like true forms. You see a bunch of like classic Spider-Man villains.
I
That
saw
would
the Rhino.
Yeah, I saw, and one scorpion-looking guy. I'm gonna have to watch a review of it where people like point out like all the different ones. I would love to see that. But seeing all of them actually like come through and they're like about to like kill Spider-Man, and then Strange finishes the spell and they all like disappear. That would have been pretty interesting overall.
I mean, I do like how Doctor Strange is like, you really can't fight fate, and that's what really kind of happened in this movie, but then it got turned around as well to where
in a way they did change fate.
Spider-Man could do something about. But see, Doctor Strange is all about the natural order of things. He's all about preserving the natural order. And when the multiverse cracks and everything, that's not natural.
Yeah.
So he was like all over that.
Yeah.
Because changing time and everything, as we get in Loki on Disney Plus, it's all gonna break apart pretty soon. Doctor Strange is not powerful enough to contain it at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, this was just the iceberg of just this catastrophe that is about to happen in the MCU.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to all hell breaking loose because we're gonna get a lot of cool characters. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So. All right, well,
Shall we?
well, yeah, you mentioned the villains and everything. I'm like, oh dear, not yet. But yeah, it's spoiler time, guys.
Okay. Well, let me ask you guys this.
Yes.
Now that we're talking about spoilers, how did you feel about Aunt May's passing?
That was,
Oh goodness. Oh.
yeah, it was rough. I can tell there were a lot of tears being shed in the theater and everything. I think she did a fantastic job with that. The actual tie into with great power comes great responsibility,
Right.
telling
Yep.
Peter that. Later they brought that back up when Tobey Maguire shows up and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Where
And how they did that, just like Ned, like taking just Doctor Strange's ring, and just go like this, and then I'm seeing the Spider-Man like out in the distance, and I'm like, that's not Tom Holland, that's somebody else, and then he comes running in. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better scene, a better intro. And Andrew Garfield, of all things, shows up, and it's just great.
Yeah.
But I really wanted like Miles Morales in here. I wanted Spider-Gwen, and just like all these characters
like the
coming
cartoons into the Spider-Verse.
coming in all at once, kind of like an Endgame, like how all those characters showed up in the end there and faced off Thanos.
Yeah, I think that would have been too much, honestly. I think we got enough.
I'm a fanboy. There's no such thing as too much.
I think
get
there is
that,
too much.
Yeah, well,
they did the main three that everyone wanted.
Right.
We got Tobey Maguire, we got Andrew Garfield, and
Yes.
we got the Charlie Cox,
Yeah.
the Daredevil.
Devil,
a lot
yeah.
of people wanted
Yeah.
him. We didn't even mention that when he
right.
after
Yeah.
Peter got arrested and everything.
Yeah.
He ended up going to I believe it was Happy's house.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Where him, Aunt May, Peter were talking to this lawyer, and lo and behold, we see it is Charlie Cox's Daredevil.
Yes.
And that was a fantastic scene. It
And-
was like funny, talking to
and-
Happy. Gotta
and I
get a
mean-
lawyer. Gotta get a good lawyer. When the brick came in through the window, Daredevil just grabs it without even looking, and then
and he's like, I'm a really good lawyer. He's like, how do you do that? I'm a really good lawyer.
That was very funny.
It was great, and the best part about this whole experience of seeing it, just opening night, is you got so many people, so many fans, under one roof, like in the theater, and like everybody's applauding. It's just like when Andrew Garfield showed up, when Daredevil showed up,
It's like being in a
Charlie
concert.
Cox, Matt Murdock.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean it was just phenomenal. And then when Toby showed up, I mean that was just like
Here's what's interesting. I saw an article last month. For those of you that may not be aware, there used to be a Spider-Man TV show in the late 70s starring Nicholas Hammond. And this is when I first thought that maybe the other Spider-Men were going to be in it. Nicholas Hammond said that he wanted to do it, but he was never asked.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know where they would put him, honestly. I mean, but I mean, I get where he's disappointed, but I mean, at the same time, I think that show is kind of fizzled, where some others classic superhero shows like the 1966 Batman and even the Incredible Hulk TV show, I think is better.
You're so iconic, classic.
But nobody would really remember like what
Yeah.
You know, it was so long ago.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't think nobody would know
Yeah,
who he is.
this is what I don't
Yeah.
get.
Forget him. I want Spider-Ham.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Batman and the Incredible Hulk shows are still lived on, and somehow this show got held back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
when Peter Parker, the Tobey Maguire version, actually came, his was funny because, you know, with Andrew, you say you just kind of like charges up and he's there. With Tobey Maguire, he's just kind of, you know, the portal opens, he turns, he just like walks in, he's like, hi.
Yeah, he's like, hi, I'm Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was actually pretty funny, a little corny.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fitting for that Peter Parker.
Yeah, and then Ned Leeds' grandmother, she was hilarious. like speaking in Spanish to him, and it just like who are these people? The Spider-Man series, I do love it because Spider-Man is like the iconic symbol of Marvel.
Yeah.
But he's not my favorite, really. I love all the magic and the mutants and all that, all the Doctor Strange and X-Men and all that. But it really was an enjoyable movie.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I didn't read this article, but I read an article where the headline was probably the best Marvel movie. I don't quite agree with that. It was entertaining, and like I said, I think Spider-Man fans will love the movie because there's references. It's like a self-parody, and there's stuff fans want. But I mean, the story was, you know, good, but it wasn't the greatest story, I think, out of all the Marvel movies. But nonetheless, I think it's a very entertaining movie, and and of course, what's entertaining are the stuff in the credits.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited on the edge of my seat when we were getting to the middle credits scene, and it's the. Now, for a long time, I thought the Venom and Carnage movies were like their own separate universe, and now I'm starting to wonder whether they are part of this universe because you see, you see Tom Hardy at the bar, because if you watched the mid-credit scene or end-credit scene of Carnage, you know, he ended up in this alternate dimension where the second Tom Holland Spider-Man movie ended, and then there's a scene where he's talking to the bartender about, you know, all what's been going on with Thanos and everything, and then suddenly he disappears. Mm-hmm. But of course, the pièce de résistance was the end credits.
Oh, yeah.
Where they showed the preview for Doctor
Strange
Strange and the Multiverse of Madness!
Yes. Oh my goodness. And we saw Wanda.
Yeah.
We saw the Scarlet Witch in there, and it looks like she's going to be more of an ally to Doctor Strange than an enemy. How they first predicted, but I don't know. I don't know, like, if her sons are going to be in there, Tommy and Billy. You know, I mean, that could just all go to hell, like, in an instant, and she could be like the greatest villain.
There's a lot of potential with it.
I
It's
mean,
very open still.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, because I mean, there was a second Doctor Strange that showed up at the end of the preview. Is that the villain?
Well, that
Strange.
I believe it's the Sorcerer Supreme, but I mean, the What If one is so much cooler than what they gave live action.
That's true, but we only got a quick glance at it.
Yeah,
I mean, if he was in that, you know, thing for years, millennia, you know, he probably got a little, you know, rough around the edges.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe he just got out of there. Maybe he's going to clean himself up a little bit. We'll see.
Right, but the Multiverse of Madness, we did get an exclusive on the main villain is Baron Mordo. And that's going to be really cool to see him as a villain, because in the first Doctor Strange, he was more of his ally. And now the tables are turning, so to speak. And we also are just going to get a whole wide range of characters between Loki, what happened there, and then what happened in Spider-Man. I mean, the universe has gone to absolute shit now. So I mean, I also saw a character, a classic character in the Doctor Strange universe called Shuma Gorath, and it's basically this just alien, like, big eye with tentacles and everything, similar to
Suicide Squad.
Starro to Suicide Squad. So I guess it's Marvel's Starro. But it goes deeper than that because who serves him is Nightmare, which we were just hoping that Nightmare would show up in WandaVision or Mephisto and all that. And I think that's going to just open the gates wide open to Limbo and just all these universes that us fanboys are dreaming of that are going to just come forth really and just see just the cosmic beings and the villains at their greatest and just to fight off against all these heroes and I am just looking so forward to that.
Definitely,
because Doctor Strange his universe is more my universe.
As you can tell.
So, yeah.
Well, let me just touch on one more thing. Now, the twist at the end, and again, it's a spoiler, was now nobody knows who Peter Parker is, and that kind of stung a little bit. And I thought that was kind of sad because for one thing, it was implied that when Dr. Octopus sees Tobey Maguire for the first time, he's like, "You've grown up," and he asked how his, Kirsten Dunst's character was, MJ, and we're still working things out, so it sounded like maybe he settled down and have a family, and now he might go back and she might not know him. And then, of course, you see the scenes in Tom Holland's universe where now Ned and MJ don't recognize him, and Happy didn't recognize him, and he's kind of starting from scratch in a way, and now Doctor Strange may not know him. I thought that was kind of I don't know, a letdown, but it was
It was a really somber way to end it.
Yeah.
After the passing of Aunt May. But I like how they really tied in that, the whole great responsibility thing.
Definitely.
Because in the previous ones, we got Uncle Ben, passing. So it would make sense because Peter doesn't have Uncle Ben in his universe. Tom Holland's Spider-Man doesn't have it. He has only Aunt May. So it would have to. It would make sense for everything to come full circle. Is what they did, and I thought that was really smart. Although I really love Marissa Tomei as Aunt May.
Yeah, she was
I
good.
mean, gosh, she was hot.
Yeah, and I heard a rumor, I'm hoping it's not true, that the reason why they ended up doing it this way, where everyone forgets Spider-Man, is so Sony, since they technically own Spider-Man still, now that everyone in the Marvel Universe forgot Spider-Man, they can take Spider-Man and kind of just mold him and focus purely on their Spider-Man films. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping Marvel still works with them.
Yeah, I heard a rumor, like I said, that I've even seen quotes from Tom Holland where he says he's done with Spider-Man. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
It's very interesting what Hollywood. I'm thinking it tells just these actors to say to the media because I'm hearing rumor that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, we're hoping that they are Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman and Fantastic Four.
I love John Krasinski.
Yeah,
I love The Office, I'm praying.
But I'm thinking that they're just saying you really. Let's fool them or something. You never know what Kevin Feige is feeding to all these actors and actresses and all that to really just screw with our heads. Which is really fun and I think he has a really fun time doing it. I think they have a fun time doing it. And it's just going to be really fun times ahead for the MCU.
Yeah, I think now this phase has really taken off. I mean, Black Widow was all right. I liked it. Shang-Chi was a pleasant surprise. Eternals was a semi-disappointment for me, but this
really,
we did the review together.
I mean, we did, but I mean, Eternals. There's just so much to it. How we touched on.
More of a thinker, philosophical world
builder
kind of movie.
It's anything.
I think it was morally focused on.
It's anything I ever saw. Like you said, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did hate it based on the Rotten Tomatoes score, but Spider-Man was almost to 100 with that on the tomato meter. So I'm just like,
And bringing back a point to what Rob said, how some people are saying this is like the biggest, best Marvel movie ever. In some instances, I don't agree, but in one big instance, I do. Where with what they did with this, where they pulled characters from old movies from 2002 up, got them in this movie where they actually made it completely coherent, made a story that actually made sense. Nothing like this has ever been done in movie history. So in that aspect, I would say, it's definitely like the biggest, best Marvel movie, at least in that aspect.
I mean, to really bring everything full circle. But as you notice, I noticed this even with Venom, Let There Be Carnage. In association with Marvel, I really do think that Marvel is going to get Spider-Man pretty soon here, because they always have that in association, and I mean it just kind of makes me chuckle, like what is going behind the scenes.
This movie though.
No, well, we did. That's because they're Sony movies, and they have to put in association with Marvel because the Venom and Carnage are Sony movies.
But wasn't that like in the Morbius trailer too? Like in association,
because it's a Sony movie.
That's going to be pretty cool. Seeing Michael Morbius, Jared Leto, unleashed. Which I mean, he's an anti-hero, just like Venom. Who knows, like if they're gonna get like another actor for Venom, because it seemed to me like in Let There Be Carnage, like Tom Hardy, they're like phasing him out for some reason.
That's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it was more Venom who carried the show than him. So
and that's a good point that I did want to bring up about the movie and the end credits.
Well, bring it up.
Mentioned yet? Yeah. Where when Venom actually fades back to his own universe, a little bit of the symbiote remained.
Yeah.
Now there's a few ideas with what's going to happen. That symbiote's going to end up finding Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and then he's going to get the black suit in that universe. Yeah. That's an idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Or since Venom and the symbiotes can kind of like have this like telepathic thing like between universes, they can all like connect and like have this telepathic ability. It could be that he left a piece of himself there, where once he actually attaches to Spider-Man, it grows, develops, that maybe that's his like anchor back to that reality.
Right.
Or it could be that there's a Tom Hardy in that universe as well, that maybe the Venom will find Eddie Brock in that universe. There's a few ideas that it could be.
I mean, we saw like what they did with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, so I mean it could carry through. But in order for the Spider-Man to be on Disney Plus, which it's not, because Sony still has that, he is the whole iconic symbol of Marvel, and it would make sense to get the rights for him. Or maybe they can work out a contract to, go with Disney Plus. I don't know how they're going to do it, but also another theory that I want to touch on is Carnage is the son of Venom. Okay, that's the parents, and we saw Woody Harrelson perish in Let There Be Carnage. So I'm thinking that they'll get another actor to play Carnage, or he also takes over Norman Osborn in the whole comic universe. So I mean, one way or another, Venom is coming to the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
We just don't know how.
And of course, Michael Keaton appeared in the trailer for Morbius, and of course now that nobody knows who Peter Parker is, he might not even know why he was there in the first place. Now
that'll be interesting. I never thought of that.
And they also said like they were just framing up these villains to be like of the Sinister Six, and that really didn't happen, because Vulture is part of that, and he's going to be in Morbius. We do know that. So how they're going to just combine all this together to really make sense and just not confuse, like Marvel goers, I mean, or just regular moviegoers, I really don't know what's ahead.
Yeah.
But I mean, Marvel, they got some masterminds, and it's gonna come full circle.
Because they've done a great job so far, so I'm going to put my trust in them.
Yeah,
and make it all
I'm gonna
come
have
together.
to put my trust in it too.
Yeah,
Them too.
alrighty. Why don't we go ahead and rate the movie? So, I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars.
Okay.
Okay. Darren.
All right. You know what? 4.5's fair. I mean, I'm gonna do that. A lot of things really came full circle again for me here, and it really did tie up some loose ends.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
so 4.5.
Nice. With me, since I held my expectations back and everything, and it achieved all the things I wanted it to achieve. You know, you got Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, got Daredevil, pretty much everything that I wanted to see. It was funny, it was serious, had a good balanced, coherent story. So with that, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
Whoa! Nobody's done 5 stars on this channel before.
I was impressed with it. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was
It's-
that good, but it was good. But not that good.
It met all my it wasn't perfect, but it met
wasn't.
all my personal expectations, which is why it gets that 5 out of 5
like
for
I
me.
and like I said, I love the themes, you know, of the public opinion, and of course, do people deserve second chances or not?
Yes.
And Fate,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah,
That was
definitely.
great.
Yeah.
That was great.
All right, well, guys, that's the end of our Spider-Man
Yep.
review. You know, if you've seen the movie, go ahead and post your comments in the comment box below. Let us know what you thought of the movie, and of course, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button and get the bell notification so you know when the next movie review is coming out. And of course, there's like hundreds of movie reviews on this channel, like vintage classic films, contemporary movies, new releases. Please check them out. And of course, this is probably going to be the last new release review I do for 2021. So there's some people I would like to thank. First of all, I want to thank you two for appearing in this video today. Thank you very much. And of course, Darren here, he's been in a lot of reviews this year. And of course, I mentioned this earlier with the WandaVision reviews, but all of the cover art where he appears, he does them. He puts a lot of hard work into them. So Darren, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, bro.
Thank you
My pleasure.
for your hard work. And then of course, the most important people we would like to thank is our viewers and subscribers.
Yes.
You guys, you know, we love talking about movie reviews, but if you weren't here watching the channel, who would we share this with, you know?
I don't know.
No, especially. So there's a lot of you that I want to thank, and of course, it's hard to go through all, because we got over 800 subscribers,
Yes.
but there's a lot of people I like to especially thank, but there are some that leave comments that I'm grateful for, like Jared Griffith, Mr. Movie Lover, Christopher Valencia,
Yes.
and many, many, many more. Thank you guys
Yes,
very much.
love you guys.
Yeah, so the next big movie will probably most likely be Morbius. And of course, also early next year, we would like to do a tribute video to somebody that's been associated with this channel, so keep your eye out for that. And yeah, so thank you guys very much. Is there anything you two would like to add?
Nothing. Just have a mystical, magical night.
Yes.
I second that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And should I do a spell to take us out
Yes.
here?
Jerry, let's put on our glasses first so we look cool. Yeah, put on these shades.
That's fancy.
Yeah. Because I don't know where you guys are going to end up.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a little afraid.
Wingardium Levioso. Oh, gosh. I think that's the wrong one. I tried.